President Trump outlined his plan for protecting America's borders. A reporter from CNN accosted the president over his numbers on illegal immigration. But as One America's Pearson explains, not only were the president's numbers on immigration accurate, but the reporter has a troubled history going back decades.
On Friday, President Trump addressed the nation, vowing to protect our borders at any cost. To do that, he was forced to declare a national emergency to secure the funding necessary to build a border wall. However, when the president started taking questions, a reporter named Brian Karem launched into an attack on the president's claims, insisting Trump wasn't using accurate data. Take a listen to the clip.
Unifying crime reporting statistics, numbers from your own Border Patrol, numbers from this government show that the amount of illegal immigrants are down. There is not violence on the border, and that
there's
most
not violence on the
there's
border?
not as much violence
Oh, really?
as. Let me,
you had
wait a minute,
26 people.
Let me finish the
killed.
question, please. Let me finish the question.
2 weeks
please.
ago, 26 people were killed in a gunfight on the border.
I understand what you're saying.
A mile away from where I went.
I was there. I understand. That's not the question. The question is.
Do we forget about that?
No, I'm not forgetting about it. I'm asking you to clarify where you get your numbers, because most of the DEA crimes reporting statistics that we see show that drugs are coming across at the ports of entry, that illegal immigration is down, and the violence is down. Okay. So what do you base your facts on?
Come on, let's go.
And secondly,
no, you get one. You get one.
Well, the second
Just
question
sit down. Wait, sit down. Sit down.
The reporter's argument is a common one and is often repeated in the mainstream media. But when you look at the actual facts and not those airbrushed figures reported on CNN and MSNBC, you get a very different picture. Here at One America News, we strive to provide Americans with the latest, most accurate figures. And those numbers reveal just how bad the situation on the border really is. In just the last 2 years, 4,000 Americans were killed by illegal aliens. 4,000. That means illegal aliens are killing 5 Americans every single day in drunk driving accidents, robberies, or by simply finding a gun and accidentally pulling the trigger. Illegals commit nearly half of all federal crimes, and 100,000 of them are in custody for assaulting American citizens. In fact, according to the DOJ, 26% of all federal prisoners are illegal aliens. That means 1 in 4 people in prison are illegals, which is really impressive considering they're just 7% of the population. So far this year, we've spent $33 billion taking care of the nearly 26 million illegal aliens who are already here. That's more than the annual GDP of Iceland just spent on paying for illegals to live here, to have driver's licenses, free housing, medical, and welfare. And since January, another 26,000 have already crossed the border to join them. How many Americans have to be attacked, raped, or murdered for these reporters to call this a crisis? Clearly, 30 people being murdered on the border near El Paso during a violent shootout between Mexican soldiers and cartel gunmen just weeks ago doesn't qualify. But smudging figures and denying facts is old hat for Brian Karem, the analyst for CNN, and the White House correspondent for hard-hitting journalistic powerhouse, Playboy. Karem has a long history, going back decades, of disrupting press briefings and shouting obnoxious questions at speakers, from President Trump all the way back to President George H.W. Bush. In 1992, Karem interrupted President Bush at a press conference, badgering him and demanding he be allowed to ask his question. Karem got his question in, but was later fired for his aggressive tactics. He's well known for his belligerent temper, even calling out independent reporter Mike Cernovich at the White House in 2018, swearing at him and criticizing Cernovich for grandstanding.
Time out. It's the White House.
Right.
You want to hold the Democrats to fire, go to the Democrats. You have a point of view, and I understand, but you don't understand journalism. You don't understand what we're really here for. And that's what pisses me off. You're like every other guy that comes in with a opinion, and instead of listening, instead of really finding out the issues, you want to grandstand at the end of a meeting.
Just a few months after that, in an absolutely amazing show of hypocrisy, Brian Karem went on this little tirade against White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders.
Don't you have any empathy for what these people are going through? They have less than
Brian,
you do.
guys,
Sarah, come on,
settle down.
Seriously.
I'm trying to be serious, but I'm not going to have you yell out of turn. Jill, please
It's
call.
a law, and they have, these people have nothing. They
Hey,
come
Brian,
over
I
here
know
with
you want to
nothing.
get some more TV
It's
time, but
not
that's
that.
not what this
It's
is
not
about. If
that.
I want to
It's about
recognize you,
answering a question,
go ahead,
Sarah.
Jill.
Following the encounter, Brian sarcastically apologized, saying he was sorry instead for not speaking up to defend illegal aliens sooner. He's gone on to make hateful stereotypes about Trump supporters as being violent towards the media, suggesting they would attack a reporter just to impress the president. He even appeared to fabricate claims about a sexual assault against then Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh in Montgomery County, Maryland. The very same day, the Montgomery County Police Department issued a statement pointing out that, in fact, no such claims had been made. This is another example of CNN's grandstanding, theatrical reporting. They're looking for the next soundbite to make the rounds on social media. Reporters like Brian Karem and Jim Acosta have no respect for the office of the presidency or for truth and integrity in journalism. These numbers that we've mentioned are out there. They're available for anyone to find. You don't have to dig very far to see through the fake news at CNN and the other networks. OAN, the Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Patrol, and even President Trump himself can share these numbers as many times as they want. But until the mainstream media and Congress begin to take the problem seriously and outlets like CNN stop pushing their hateful fear-mongering, things will only get worse and American citizens will keep dying. For One America News, I'm Pearson Sharp.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.